Hello everyone, it's Mary with Happy Pine Soap. Welcome back to my channel. Are you looking for a soap recipe that stays perfectly fluid so you can create the most intricate designs without rushing? Well, you are in luck. I have a recipe today for you that I always use when I need time. It's a slow-moving, perfectly fluid soap formula that makes even the most detailed designs look effortless. I will share that recipe with you later on in this tutorial. As many of you know, I have tons of Mad Mica colors already, but what I was lacking was a bunch of neutrals, those deep, rich browns, golds, grays, so I popped a few of those together to create this design. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see how it turns out. So these are our colors used today, and I use them at 1 teaspoon per pound of soap batter, 1 tablespoon of sweet almond oil, and as you see, I pre-blended them together here and they're ready to go. Our fragrance is going to be Pear Pop from Brambleberry, which I mixed with about 5 tablespoons of kaolin clay. I posted a screenshot of this fabulous recipe, which is my absolute favorite, later on in the video, so stay tuned for that. These are all the hard oils getting ready to be melted. They include cocoa butter, shea butter, coconut oil, and lard. For optimum results, you want to get your hard oils melted to above 140. I like between 145 and 150. That's when I decided to add my fragrance. And this one is so well behaved that it did not matter that I was adding it at this time. So I went ahead and blended it with the hard and soft oils, which have already been added. That way it's mixed in really well, and the kaolin clay will hopefully not have any lumps, which I did not notice in the finished soap. So this is my favorite way to get kaolin clay in without any lumps in the finished product. As you can see, the temperatures on our oils now have decreased quite a bit just from adding all the soft oils and the fragrance. The Lazy Susan I got from Amazon, by the way. And our slab mold is ready to go. I think this is about 5 pounds, and I'm just demonstrating how the spin swirl works there. Our lye now is about 68, which is room temperature. Our oils were about 89 degrees Fahrenheit, and we are ready to add them together. So go ahead and pour your lye solution into your oils very carefully. I went ahead and scraped it out a little bit, and then I got ready to start blending. For this particular recipe, I believe I blended it for about 15 seconds in about 5-second bursts. I kept checking to make sure it was not thickening too quickly. And this recipe is just a dream with this particular fragrance, and it just was unbelievably fluid, which is so interesting to me. I used the same recipe for the Christmas tree design, and that one thickened quite a bit. So it goes to show fragrance and add-ins make a big difference in your trace levels. For this particular design, I had 5 different colors, and each one got about 16 ounces or 1 pound of soap batter. Now is the time that you can add your mica that's been pre-blended. So this is what you see me doing here. I carefully scrape each color into its respective container, and then I will carefully stir them by hand. And because this recipe behaves so well, I didn't have to rush or anything. So this recipe is wonderful for just being able to relax, not worry about trace, and just enjoy yourself along the process. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know I love me some scrubby soap, so this is something that is completely optional. You do not have to do this at all, but I added some poppy seeds. I think I added 1 teaspoon to this particular container, and I also used some walnut shells in 1 teaspoon increments as well to a couple of the other colors. But again, totally optional. You do not at all have to do this step. Now you are ready for pouring. You want to go ahead and carefully pour down the sides or the walls of the mold here. I used opposing or opposite corners at first, and I poured for about 5 seconds each for each color. And then what I did is I also poured some random areas along the sides of the mold. I wanted to do it differently than my other spin swirls, just to have a different pattern and see those effects, which I really liked. So feel free to just enjoy yourself for a moment while I show all of the pouring. I did speed this up quite a bit so it doesn't take forever, but again, this is about 40 minutes of pouring, and that batter stayed perfect the entire time. Now you are ready for swirling. Make sure not to let the batter go all the way up to the top or it will slosh over. So the reserved batter, I'll show you what I did with that in just a little bit because I certainly did not use it all. There was quite a bit left over. But as you see, I'm carefully just spinning it left and right and just kind of watching the pattern on top to see what I liked. And then when I got it to a pattern I liked, I gently tapped it to release air bubbles, covered it with some plastic wrap, and I went ahead and oven processed this as well. For those who don't know what oven processing is, it's simply when you put your soap in a warm oven. Make sure the oven is off. You can get it to the lowest temperature, which is 170 degrees on my oven, turn it off, and then leave the soap in for several hours. And this is the recipe, the promised recipe that is absolutely amazing. So feel free to screenshot this and try it out yourself. Now for the extra leftovers, I had quite a bit, so I decided to show some different techniques that you can use with this particular recipe. These also require very fluid soap batter. So this is called the kiss pour, and as you see, you're basically having two separate colors that you gently touch in the middle, and it forms this delightful kiss pour pattern that you'll see below. So that is one thing I went ahead and did. Those are brambleberry, some simple square molds here. So I had these on hand and I just used up the rest of the batter in these adorable individual molds. Here is our soap the next day, and it was still a little bit soft. So if I had had some extra time, I would have maybe waited an extra day or half day before cutting it. But basically, you're going to turn this on the long end and cut it into separate slabs or separate pieces. I think I was cutting every 2 1/4 inches roughly. And then as you'll see, I will take these mini slabs, which are now cut at 2 1/4 inches, and I will separate them into the actual soap bars as well, which you see me doing here. I think I cut each one in half basically. And then what I decided to do was also take off some of the top of each bar. There was a little bit of soda ash formation and the design didn't look really crisp and clear. So later on, you'll see me shave off just the tiniest amount off the top part of each one of these bars, as well as some of the sides. I clean them up so that the finished bars look absolutely pristine with a very crisp design with very vibrant colors. Now I have them all cut and cleaned up. They were too soft to bevel, so I would wait another few days before beveling them, but I wanted you to be able to see how gorgeous these soaps are. Oh my goodness. The spin swirl is one of my absolute favorite ways of creating the most gorgeous art-inspired, like fluid art type of soaps. As always, thank you everybody so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them below. I'll do my best to answer them. Please drop me any comments as well if you enjoyed this video. I love reading your comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. That helps my very small channel grow. Thank you again, everybody. I hope you have a fabulous weekend. See you in the next soapy video.